may not be a right. They are really making money here. That's another piece to this that people may not be paying attention to, because when we talk about the idea, and I'm not someone who is trying to speak in hyperbole, but when we talk about the idea, when we talk about the notion of what it is to be on the brink of World War III, you have to think about in economic and capitalistic terms as much as you do in terms of bombs, bullets, and bodies. And that's just the reality. We've got a lot more to talk about on today's Live at 5. You are watching The Don Lemon Show. I'm Charles Coleman Jr. Filling in for Don Lemon today. Please stay tuned. There's more to discuss, but right now we just need a quick word from our sponsors.
Support comes from Aura Frames. Now, Mother's Day always makes me think about the moments when my mom had to deal with me. And trust me, there were plenty. Things that felt like chaos back then, but now you look back and you laugh. Maybe, I don't know if my mom does. That's why I like Aura Frames. It's not just the perfect pictures, it's the real story, the full story. You can preload photos before it even arrives. So when she opens it, it's already filled with memories. And you can keep adding to it at any time. Just do it right on your phone, right online, right on your laptop or whatever. It's simple, it's meaningful, and it's actually personal. So here's what you do. You go to Aura, A-U-R-A frames.com, and use the code DonLemon for $25 off. AuraFrames.com. Use the code DonLemon for $25 off. Support comes from 120 Life. I've been paying more attention to my health lately, especially blood pressure. And one of those things people ignore until they cannot. 120 Life makes it simple. It is a once-a-day drink designed to support healthy blood sugar. You can try it for 14 days. There's a 14-day challenge. You check your numbers before and after, and a lot of people see changes in just a couple of weeks. It's easy, it fits into your day, and it's something you can actually stick with. So go to 120life.com. Use the code DON for 20% off. That's 120life.com. Use the code DON for 20% off. Now, I need to say that these statements have not been examined or approved by the Food and Drug Administration, so always check with your doctor.
Welcome back. You are watching Live at 5, The Don Lemon Show. I am Charles Coleman Jr. filling in today for Don Lemon. Please take a second. Make sure you are following me across the socials, whether that's on X, whether that's on Instagram, whether that's on Facebook. Charles F. Coleman Jr., CF Coleman Jr. on IG, and CF Coleman Jr. on X. We are continuing with our coverage of the latest news out of Washington around the president, who has said that he is postponing indefinitely the trip for the peace envoy led by Vice President J.D. Vance to Islamabad to discuss an actual peace agreement with Iran for right now. But he is also extending the ceasefire, which was set to expire tonight. Now, there are a number of people. This message has reverberated throughout MAGA land and throughout the country. It is very interesting to see how many people who were ardent supporters of this man have watched over and over again him go back on his word, because this was a guy who, if you recall at the beginning of this election, he was America first, no new wars, I'm focusing on America. And he has done anything but that since he's been in office. We've been in conflicts in Venezuela. We've been in Israel's business. We have been now now we have been in Iran. And so everything that he has done has been contrary to the foreign policy that he stated that he was going to do when he was selling MAGA this pumped up dream. But people have begun to wake up. Whether you think it's too late is not that's another question for another day, but people begun to wake up. And one of the people, interestingly enough, is former Fox News personality Megyn Kelly, who has had some choice words about Donald Trump. I want you to listen to what she had to say about the leader of MAGA Nation and the free world most recently. Let's play that clip.
I mean, he keeps doing this. He ratchets up the rhetoric every time we're at the end of a ceasefire or demanding, that they respond to us in some way. And Trump escalates the rhetoric. And that Wall Street Journal article the other day made really clear why he was doing that and really kind of exposed how it's a tactic. And he admitted that it was a tactic. to aides, who then spoke to the Wall Street Journal. And this also talked about, this article, about how he is trying to seem unstable. And I wanted to be as unstable and insulting as possible, believing it could bring the Iranians to the table. That post about a whole civilization will die, he saw it as a way to spur negotiations in a war the president was desperately ready to end. Axios reporting today that Trump is bored of this war and wants it over. Whatever. You know, maybe it wasn't the best thing to start if you didn't have the patience to actually see it through. That's what his supporters of the war might say. I mean, those of us who have been against it from the beginning would like to see it wrapped up, whether it's out of boredom or not. It's really too bad that the cost of American lives isn't the motivator. It's just that Trump has moved on to other things because he has the attention span of a gnat.
There's an old saying that a broken clock is right twice a day. And so while I won't take this time to disparage Megyn Kelly or give you my own perspective on her journalism and her journalistic career, I will say that I think it's very interesting and very telling that you have some of the most entrenched folks on the right who have been very clear about their position on Donald Trump now sort of turning on him. And the idea that he is, and this is not the first person who has parroted this idea that he is acting like a madman as a means of trying to scare or intimidate the Iranian people to negotiate. That idea, it sounds like, to quote Joe Biden, a bunch of malarkey. Like that, I'm not. That's pardon me. That's horseshit. It's horseshit. I can't go with that. But it does bring up another point. It's a difference between acting like a madman and actually being sort of not stable. There's new reporting that says, the Fact Post put this up earlier today on X, 71%, I believe this came from Katie Tur on MS Now during MS Now Reports, 71% of Americans do not consider Trump to be even-tempered. That includes 46% of Republicans, 51% of Americans, including 54% of independents, say his mental sharpness has gotten worse over the past year. This is a real issue. Do we have the clip from Katie? Let's see. Can we play this?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, let's play this.
And this is in addition to everything that we can see for ourselves, from those strange and sleepy cabinet meetings to the chaotic and scary social media posts that he types out at all hours of the night, where he fights with the Pope and threatens to end an entire civilization. So it should come as no surprise that Americans are worried as well, and that they're saying so. A new Reuters Ipsos poll